Hello friends and welcome to the dark side. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yaneli and today we have another exciting swatch and review video. Today we're going to be talking about Mooncat Star Wars collaboration, and this is specifically to join the dark side, hence the theme and the earlier intro. I'll do a more in-depth look at the collection box along with what comes with the collector's box, so stay tuned for that. Hi, editing Yaneli here. So the collector's box as of this recording is now sold out. I'm still gonna have the little collector's box showcasing if you're interested, but of course feel free to skip over down in the timestamps in the description box. Warning, it is almost a 10-minute unboxing video. I'm so sorry. First and foremost, I want to put a disclaimer. I did not purchase this collection. Mooncat was nice enough to send it to me in PR as a gifted PR, so I'm not obligated to create content, post content, or do anything with it, but I do want to share swatches with you and a little bit of comparisons later in the video. But first, let's take a look at the collector's box. Okay, having a first look at the box, it is Darth Vader's face, full blast. It has these silver linings here as detailing, and it is slightly textured, especially here in the crevices and stuff. And then in the back, you have the boy band group pose going on and the My Chemical Romance-esque type of title here with the details of inspired by the iconic menacing figures of the dark side and conjured in collaboration with Star Wars. And then on the sides, it's just the galaxies with some red accents, followed by more text and just explaining what's in here. And then Star Wars, little planets, and join the dark side on the bottom. To open it, just slide it on out. And you're greeted with two heads. And on the side that pops out is where the stickers reside. Again, more information. Learn to use the dark side of the Force. So let's look at stickers. They come in this little envelope. Just peel it on the side. Oh, it comes with directions too if you ever need that. I don't wear stickers. I am a hoarder of stickers, mainly because once you use it, they're kind of gone, and I don't want that, I guess. So they are some white moons, ships, stars, stormtrooper faces, and whatnot that look like they glow in the dark, and I'm pretty sure they do. Okay, here they are glowing in the dark. Pretty cool if you want that look. Like I said, I'm gonna hoard these and put them up with the collection box on my wall. And then here's the envelope showing a little bit more of the same branding style, and then again directions here. For stickers, even though I don't wear them, the way I would say to apply them is have like these little tweezers here, very sharp and pointy for you to be able to pick them up. And then I would use kind of like a little silicone thing to just press the sticker fully on the nail, and then I would go in with my top coat. But of course, if you have a base color underneath before you're placing the sticker, make sure it's fully dry. Otherwise, as you're pressing down and applying pressure, if the base color is not dry, you're just gonna smudge it, essentially. And then those who are in PR, we get this little card that essentially just says what the collection is, when it's released, you know, confidentiality type thing. Now here's where the babies are. So this is rather hefty with the polishes, and I took them out before just to make sure to see if it was just the box or if it was the polishes, but no. So from this side at least, it creates the weight from the polishes. However, and I thought this was so cool, that up here where the magnetic wand is, this is magnetized to retain the magnet from falling out. So this part is a little bit top heavy because of this. So that's the wand that you get with a collection, because 6 polishes are magnetic. This is the only one that's not. So they do give you crystal nail file. They call it the shapeshifter. And I will say it is hard to get out. I was scared that I would break it because you have to lift it enough to get it over the edge here. These are like elasticy, so they stretch out enough for you to get them out. It's just scary overall. See how I'm lifting it? Have to lift it a little up, get it over the edge like this. And you can tell that it's at an angle. So be careful when taking this out. If you don't want to leave the crystal file in the collections box, just cut these up. But if you want to have the collection box fully intact with even these little elastic bands, just be careful when taking this out. Closer look at the crystal file. It has the Star Wars branding and the mooncat branding. It's similar to their original shapeshifter that they have on their website. So this is the Star Wars one, and then this is the mooncat one. So you can kind of see here that the mooncat one has more of a glossy finish going throughout, and then the Star Wars one is fully matte. Mine has been used, so the grit of it might be smoother. The grit is there, like it's definitely pulling some skin here. You can even see my dry skin. Embarrassing. And then this is the back, little planet and stars, pretty cute. So only one side is a filing side. Their regular mooncat crystal file is a file on both sides. So I can, there's that, and there's that. So both sides you can file your nails with. With the Star Wars one, you only have the front side here with the logo. So comparing it to the Nightmare Before Christmas one, it's very different. The Nightmare Before Christmas one's a little bit more coarse in my opinion, and it is double-sided, whereas Star Wars one is not, which makes me wonder why they decided to change it, or if people had some complaints in regards to it being double-sided. When you are ready to clean the crystal file, just use warm water, some dish soap, rub it in, and then pat dry and just let it stand out for it to dry, and then you're good to go. It's essentially like new. Let's talk about the little cartons that it comes with. They're all the same throughout all the polishes, and that's pretty much the end of the collection box essentially. They all have these little divots here. So what I will probably do is I'll take the polishes out, leave the cartons in here, and put them on my wall. So interesting, I found these easy to open. Just pull the tab, right? So if you find it hard to open, go ahead and use like a little orange stick or a cuticle pusher and just glide it in the crevice there to get it open, and then you're good to go. So on the sides here, it has like the little lights that the ships give out, I believe. And then you have the cool like shifty Star Wars title in red. Same theme, galaxy-esque, Mooncat's logo. The back, you have your usual stuff, collaborator, the company, and then the name of the polish, ingredients, yada yada. And then on top, you have little Darth Vader looking all cute. So opening this up, so it says join the dark side on the flap here. And then as you pull it back, you're greeted with Vader in the middle, stormtroopers around him. It's kind of giving like La Lisa in her Rockstar video, you know? And then here you have some more like paneling type stuff going on. Flip it open, stormtroopers. And then the whole inside is the same graphics. So pretty cool. It's giving boy band. I don't know why. So each bottle has a new customized label. So in here, you'll see Star Wars on top, and then Vader's face in the middle, Mooncat label on the bottom, and then volume fill of the polishes, and then of course the title and whatnot. and nothing in the back. With that being said, that concludes the end of the packaging. Let's get on into swatches. First up, we have a galaxy far, far away. Mooncat describes this as a black magnetic lacquer filled with holographic glitter and red and blue iridescent flakies that reveal a bright aqua blue magnetic stripe or aqua blue magnetic velvet effect when magnetized. Overall, it applied very smooth despite it being packed with the hollow and the flakies. I thought there would be a little bit more of a resistance. The formula didn't feel thick at all to me whatsoever. Again, very easy to glide on the nail. The first coat did amazing coverage. However, there were some areas where I could still see my nail, so I went in with a second coat and that one gave me full coverage. This polish did dry smooth, but I would always and forevermore recommend that you put a top coat on to just seal everything in. With the cat eye look, the black base is shown more as the magnetic blue stripe comes forward and centralizes itself depending how you do it. With the cat eye, you see the flakes more and you see the hollow better. The velvet brings forth that light blue magnetic particle, and as you turn your nail around, you catch the black base and the flakies more. Next up, we have Star Destroyer, and Mooncat describes this as an icy blue silver metallic flaky polish, jam-packed with silver metallic flakies and micro holographic glitter. When I say you need sunglasses when you wear this, I literally mean it. This polish is so bright. I will say it is a little on the thicker side because of the metallic flakies or the glitter that it has in there. Because it has a very light colored base, the main coverage will come from these flakies, and I ended up needing 3 coats to get full coverage. Like, I could have finagled with the second coat a little bit more, but even as I was rotating my nail around, I saw that on the tips, in the middle, and on the sides of the nail, I could see like the pinky hue of my nail. For me, it took 3 coats to get full coverage, at least enough to where I didn't see my bare nail anymore. It is so reflective. I could see myself on my nail and it reflects the lights, so it's kind of like a disco ball on your nail. I just love the way that this polish layers the flakies upon itself with each new coat. Blue base kind of shows itself a little bit more. It's not as prominent as I have seen it in the Mooncat marketing, but that icy blue, it's like a tint almost. Here we have Dawn of the Empire. Mooncat describes this as a black magnetic polish that reveals a red magnetic stripe or a red magnetic velvet effect. First coat for me, you can see the black base and the little patchy spots here and there, especially where my textured part is, the indent in the middle. So 2 coats for me gave me full coverage with it unmagnetized. I'm a huge fan of dark reds. You will see in my comparisons section of the video how many dark reds I own. I really enjoy how this one looks unmagnetized, honestly, but at that point it kind of loses its special characteristic because it just looks like any other dark red shimmer polish. But when you magnetize it, that's where its characteristics really come out. You know, it's giving that dark aesthetic, but also alluring your eyes to it because magnetic polishes are just so cool. Kind of reminding me of the ember residue of like when the fire gets blown out and you just blow air on it and it just sparks a little bit. For the cat eye, pulls all the red particles in the middle and leaving behind the black base. The velvet places the red particles in the forefront, giving us a multi-dimensional look. Moving right along, we have Death Star, and Mooncat describes this as a silver magnetic polish filled with silver holographic shimmer that reveals a silver magnetic stripe or silver magnetic velvet effect. The first coat, I was not prepared for how delicate and pretty this polish would be. Leave it to Mooncat to give us an evil sounding polish, but having it be the most beautiful polish that you've ever seen in your life. Aside from the hollow distracting us, there are some bald spots throughout the nail. If I didn't want to magnetize this polish, I could just wear a light gray creme color and put this on top, but I did go in with a second coat and that gave me full coverage. And just seeing the hollow twinkle here and there is just such an instant mood booster for me. The formula wasn't thick, it actually was very workable and easy to apply. And then when you magnetize it, the cat eye, you get a lighter silver stripe in the middle, and then a almost darker gray in the background with the hollow shining through. In velvet, the lighter silver particles move in the forefront, and this is blinding. It's giving the same vibes as Star Destroyer. Next up, we have Lord Vader, and Mooncat describes this as a red magnetic polish filled with red shimmers that reveals a silver magnetic stripe or silver magnetic velvet effect. On the first coat, without it being magnetized, it acts like a chrome polish similar to the ones from Holo Taco, the one coat chromes. And I actually got full coverage in one coat. However, when I do magnetize this, I have 2 to 3 coats just to make sure I have that full coverage. As you congregate the magnetic particles of the polish, you're left with just the bare color, and that might seem more patchy than the overall polish, is what I gathered. Cat Eye grabs all the silver particles to the line and leaves behind a nice red base. With the velvet, the silver particles are in the front, and similar to Death Star, it's very blinding as well. As you shift your nail around, you get a glimpse of the red base. Moving on to Scum and Villainy, Mooncat describes this as a dark brown magnetic polish filled with bronze colored flakies that reveal a silvery pink magnetic stripe. On the first coat, it almost looks similar to Lord Vader unmagnetized, but it has more of a muted pink look to it. It's very, very pretty. It almost gives a similar chrome effect, but not as much. And it also almost looks like it could be a one coater, but if I really look at my nail and scrutinize it, I do see some patchy areas near the tips. So you could pass this as a one coater unmagnetized if you want, but I went ahead and did a second coat, and that for me reassured me that I have full coverage. As you magnetize this in the cat eye effect, it is so beautiful. I love the pinky brown magnetic stripe in the middle, leaving behind that almost black base and then the flakies popping out. It is so stunning to look at. And then with the velvet effect, it's that same pinky brown, pinky silver magnetic pull in the front. And then as you rotate your hand, you get just the tiniest glimpse of the dark base with the flakies. Finally, we have Imperial Stormtrooper, and Mooncat describes this as a black to light gray thermal magnetic polish that reveals a bright silver magnetic stripe or bright silver magnetic velvet effect. Its temperature reactive base transitions from black when cold to light gray when warm. I have never heard of a magnetic thermal before. This is so unique to me. I'm pretty certain some indie brand out there has done this and they have their fan base and whatnot, but of the brands that I use and dedicate myself to, this is a first. First coat applied smoothly. The formula is a little thicker than the previous ones, which is normal for thermals. For some reason, they thick up more than normal lacquer. It's not thick enough to where I feel like I need thinner yet, but it is up there for me. This is another one that almost looks like a one coater. However, I did go in with 2 coats and that provided me full coverage. To me, the cold state color, that dark gray or black, if you will, has kind of a green tint to it, almost giving it a tarnished look. So in the velvet effect, you see the light gray magnetic particles come forward. They're not as bright as the silver ones in Lord Vader or Death Star, but as you rotate your nail around, you see the dark gray in the back end. With the thermal ability, it is hard to see it in the velvet effect. You kind of have to have your nail at an angle for you to see the change. I currently have short nails, so it's even harder for me, so I'm forcing the temperatures to change with warm and cold water in the background. In the cat eye look, the silver pulls into a line, leaving behind a dark base. This method allows you to see the thermal ability better while it's magnetized. In the warm state, the light gray almost looks smoky, kind of giving it a hazy look, which is so cool. I did want to show these polishes in different lighting, so here I have as much of direct sun as I can get in the state of Wisconsin near the winter time. So from left to right, on my pointer finger I have Imperial Stormtroopers, on my middle finger I have Dawn of the Empire, on my ring finger I have Death Star, and on my pinky and thumb I have a galaxy far away. And I will show these in its magnetic states in the sun as well. And I worn these polishes with just 2 coats and no top coat, so you can get a general idea of how these polishes look without the glossiness of a top coat essentially. I love seeing the hollow flare of Death Star. It is so pretty. I will say it is hard to get the red flakies in a galaxy far away. I was very fortunate to get a big red flaky on my pinky to kind of show that it's there, it exists. It's just not as prominent as I would like them to, but it could be because I didn't shake my bottle enough maybe. And then on my right hand, on my pinky and thumb, I have Death Star again. On my ring finger, I have Lord Vader. On my middle finger, I have Star Destroyer. And on the pointer finger, I have Scum and Villainy. And in here you can see the icy blue that Mooncat describes in Star Destroyer. And just like with my left hand, 2 coats of all the polishes and no top coat. And then in here you can really see how similar Scum and Villainy is with Lord Vader in the unmagnetized format. In the shade, it's kind of where they shine the least, especially because it's so gray leaning, this color palette. So a galaxy far away, because of the flakies being iridescent, those tend to pop out more in indirect lighting. With Dawn of the Empire, you see the shiftiness a little bit in the red magnetic particles that it has. Imperial Stormtrooper and Death Star, they're kind of lackluster in indirect lighting. I mean, you lose the hollow in Death Star, and then Imperial Stormtrooper is just silver on silver on silver. On my right hand, with the polishes in the shade, again, very gray leaning, so it's not that fun to look at in indirect lighting. Scum and Villainy and then Lord Vader still have a little pop of color, but it's kind of starting to blend in a little bit with the silverness in indirect lighting. Star Destroyer is still shining bright though. That is the brightest polish I've ever seen in my life, I think. And then here they are in the sun, magnetized, same as before. On my left hand, from left to right, I have Imperial Stormtrooper, Dawn of the Empire, Death Star, and a galaxy far away. I think the one that shines the brightest to me in the sun with the cat eye effect is a galaxy far away. That light blue magnetic pole is so nice to look at. And then on my right hand, same as before, my pinky and thumb have Death Star, my ring finger has Lord Vader, middle stayed the same with Star Destroyer, and pointer is Scum and Villainy. And I forgot to record the magnetic ones in indirect lighting before I took them out, so just know the gray ones stay gray and all. Moving on to comparisons, up first for a galaxy far away, I was thinking of Holotaco's cool cat mom, and they're not necessarily similar, it's just similar color vibe in a sense, you'll see in the swatches. And then I didn't really have anything else really to compare this to, but I thought to take a look of Dark Night of the Soul by Mooncat. So this is what the logo usually looks like for their polishes. But because this is a collaboration with Star Wars and Lucasfilm, they specialized the label on the bottle to match the vibe. So real quick, in the middle we have a galaxy far away. To the left we have Holotaco's cool cat mom, and to the right we have Mooncat's A Dark Night of the Soul. So these two are magnetics. The difference with Holotaco's cool cat mom is that it doesn't have those blue and red flakies. And the magnetic shimmers are purple versus blue. And Holotaco does have blue reflective glitters as well. And then A Dark Night of the Soul doesn't really have anything else. I think this is a thermal. I don't recall properly. And of course the tones of the blue are very different. So not exacts, and at least within my collection. Up next I have Star Destroyer, and I don't really have anything like this. So these are kind of hopefuls that could be similar to compare. So up first we have Island Peace Snow Kiss. Now this is a metallic foil type of polishes, which this is what the Mooncat one is kind of seeming to be, but it's really just these glitters that are so reflective. And then the next one I thought was Winter Dreams by Island P again, but I think it's clear the differences. And then this isn't a comparison, it's more of a nice combo that I want to play with. So I'm thinking putting Sabertooth on the bottom and then topping it off with Star Destroyer. In the middle we have Mooncat Star Destroyer. To the left we have Island Peace No Kiss. To the right we have Island Peace Winter Dream. And up above we have the Sabertooth and Star Destroyer combo. So, I mean, what's there to compare, I guess? There's nothing similar to Star Destroyer. And honestly, I find this kind of ugly, so maybe not the best combo. So next up on our comparisons is Dawn of the Empire, and surprisingly, I have like 8 polishes I want to compare this to. Keeping within the Mooncat brand, I have here Bottled Rage, which is another like dark base, red shimmers type of vibe going on. And then I have Mooncat Like a Moth to a Flame. Similar vibes as the first one. And then next up I have the Arsonist. And this one's not a dark base. It's actually a red base with some intense red shimmers going throughout, red orange shimmers. And then lastly from the Mooncat brand, I have Nocturne, which is another magnetic with some gold flakies running throughout. Moving on to Hollow Taco, I have Gosh Garnet, and then I have Hollow Taco's Tax Haven, which I know is more of a brown than a red, but it does shift to kind of a similar color to the red magnetic particles of Dawn of the Empire. Next up, I have Hollow Taco's Unrover, which is a little bit more orange leaning. Similar to the Arsonist. And then lastly, I have Hollow Taco's or Bite Me, which is not a magnetic of any sorts, but in my mind, I guess I thought the red was a little bit more intense and vibrant versus dark and vampy. In the middle, we have Dawn of the Empire, and then moving from right to left, at the top right, we have Mooncat's Like a Moth to a Flame. Underneath that is Mooncat's Bottled Rage. Underneath that is Mooncat's The Arsonist. Moving on to the next row. Top, we have Mooncat's Nocturne, Dawn of the Empire. And then on the bottom, we have Hollow Taco's I'm Rover It. Moving on to the next row. On the top, we have Hollow Taco's Gosh Garnet. Underneath, we have Hollow Taco's Tax Haven. And on the bottom, we have Hollow Taco's or Bite Me. I would say Hollow Taco's Tax Haven is similar. The difference being that Dawn of the Empire is magnetic, so this overall look would change once magnetized, either cat eye or velvet or any other method. Tax Haven is just purely a somewhat brown with the orangey red shimmers going throughout. These up above here are too dark to be a comparison. The shimmer in Nocturne is kind of similar to this one. It's just a little bit more orangey. And then of course the flakes and the black base. These 3 on the bottom here are a little too red, and this is just too orange. So yeah, nothing's really exact compared to Dawn of the Empire. Moving on to Death Star, I don't really have anything like this one, but I do have something that could be slightly similar, and this is Hollow Taco's Rider Diamond. And then the one that I thought maybe could have a chance, it's just not magnetic, would be Hollow Taco's Highest Bidder. And lastly, I have Hollow Taco's Featured Guest. This is technically supposed to be a white holographic, but because Hollow is silver, kind of comes off more gray. In the middle, we have Death Star. To the left, we have Hollow Taco's Rider Diamond. To the right, we have Hollow Taco's Highest Bidder. And on top, we have Hollow Taco's Featured Guest. So if it weren't for Highest Bidder being so dark, it could almost be dupeable. But Rider Diamond isn't looking too bad. The main difference with Rider Diamond is that it's not magnetic and it has like flaky hollow, scattered hollow, reflective glitters, and so on and so forth. And then Featured Guest is on her own. It's just up there. So yeah, not exacts. Moving along, we have Lord Vader, and I don't have anything like this. The only polish that I could maybe compare is solely based on this polish looking unmagnetized and it reminding me of Hollow Taco's chrome polishes that they have. And the closest one, because it kind of looks pinky, would be Hollow Taco's Pink Steel. Clearly Hollow Taco's Pink Steel is more like a true pink, as true pink can get in chrome. So on the right here we have Lord Vader, and on the left we have Hollow Taco's Pink Steel. Lord Vader leans a little bit more orangey now compared to an actual pink. Let me lower the exposure. Hopefully you can see it better in that. But yeah, not exacts. Again, I don't have anything like Lord Vader. It's very unique. And it's also magnetic, so it's like even harder to compare something to. Alright, next up we have Scum and Villainy. And for that, I thought of comparing it next to Mooncat's The Trouble with Immortality, as they're kind of in the browns area. Scum and Villainy is just more pinky leaning. And then speaking of pink leaning, I have Holotaco's Solo Mission. The difference is kind of there. You'll see more in the swatches. And then lastly, I thought of Island Peace Quicksand, which is more of a neutral type of polish, since that's what Scum and Villainy kind of gives me. Okay, in the middle we have Scum and Villainy. To the right we have Mooncat's The Trouble with Immortality. To the left we have Holotaco's Solo Mission. And on top we have Island Peace Quicksand. Swatched on, none of these are exacts whatsoever. I thought perchance that Solo Mission might be similar, but because of the flakies and the type of color that they display, it kind of makes it more on the pinkier side. And then The Trouble with Immortality is more on the gold side. And then Quicksand is just kind of this muted light tan. So yeah, nothing's exact. I did forget to compare Lord Vader and Scum and Villainy together unmagnetized because they almost look similar. So on the left I have Lord Vader, on the right I have Scum and Villainy, and they both have that similar like light pink aspect of it, but Scum and Villainy is much more brown leaning than Lord Vader is. Lord Vader is that pale pinky red. And again, this is only when you have these unmagnetized. When you magnetize them, there's a distinct difference between the two. Lastly, we have Mooncat's Imperial Stormtroopers. And I did mention that it kind of has a little green tint to it. So I thought of comparing it next to Sagebrush, which is a muted green. And in person, to me, these almost look identical. And then since Imperial Stormtroopers are very unique, I can only compare it to the colors that are represented in the cold and warm state. They don't have anything that's magnetic and thermal. So for the cold state, I thought of maybe comparing it to Holotaco's Great. On the warm state, I thought of comparing it next to Holotaco's World's First, which is a lighter gray, but it's also a chrome. So in the middle, we have Mooncat's Imperial Stormtroopers. To the right, we have Mooncat's Sagebrush. To the left, we have Holotaco's Great. And on top, we have Holotaco's World's First. So I mainly want to focus on these two. These are both thermals. This one is not magnetic. And this one does go to a more almost minty or a lighter muted green. This goes to a more lighter gray. So this is the color of it in its cold state, and Holotaco's Great is kind of darker compared to that. But I hope you can see now what I mean with like the green tint that it has going on. But yeah, I don't have anything like this whatsoever. This is so unique to me. A thermal and magnetic polish is crazy. And that concludes the swatch and comparison portion of this video. Please let me know any and all your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can chat about it. Will you be getting the whole collection? Are you a huge Star Wars fan? Let me know in the comments down below. Overall, I really like this collection. I don't know too much about Star Wars, but I do have friends and mutuals that really enjoy the franchise. I try to watch some of the Star Wars movies, but didn't get into it as much as I like. But I'm also not a huge movie person, so there's that. I am quite surprised that 6 of these are all magnetics, with one of them being a thermal magnetic, which is very new to me. I've never seen a brand do that. I'm sure some indie brand has done it before, but in terms of the brands that I know and I follow, this is a first in my book. I do wish it was a little bit more colorful. Like, I do understand that the theme is about the Sith joining the dark side and like the enemies in Star Wars. And so they were trying to create kind of a dark collection, dark palette of sorts. But it was a lot of gray. It was a lot of silver. There were 2 reds and 1 dark brown that passes as black. So pretty monochromatic of a color story. But yeah, other than there being a lot of grays and 2 reds and lack of color, it's a pretty solid collection. It's very fun because it's themed, right? So that creates the extra experience in liking this collection essentially. My favorite actually is Scum and Villainy, which I'm wearing right now, and these press-ons. I love the fact that I can see these pinky bronze, pinky brown magnetic pole, and then in the back end you see the dark brown or black, because it looks black to me, and then the little copper-y flakies in there. It's so pretty, and it's so ironic for having the name of Scum and Villainy because it's such a cute polish. But yeah, those are my final thoughts and opinions. Again, please let me know any and all your thoughts down in the comments below so we can chat about it. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.